like the statement, "Image is powerful," is an accurate statement for the society that we live in today. Image can transform the way you perceive yourself and others. We can change this by a mere outfit change.
Former Victoria's Secret model Cameron Russell provides us with honest, eye-opening answers about the superficial realities of physical appearances, cultural realities, and the construction procedures that take place. In addition, young girls growing up all too fast due to the reinforced idea that thinner thighs and shinier hair are the key to happiness.
Superficial images like the one shown above is an example of it has power over many women and makes them very insecure about their body. Women look at these models and believe that this is the way that they should look. It has a huge impact on many lives today.
Cameron says the genetic lottery states pretty, tall, slender, white women have been branded as ideal by the modeling agencies. Although consumers view it this way, it is not reality. Sadly, we are programmed to admire these individuals by conveyed messages and signs.
Referring to Cameron's white skin genetic lottery comment, in reality in 2007, an NYU student, a PhD student, counted all the models on a runway. Out of the 677 models, only 27, or less than 4% of them, were non-white. We applaud her for speaking up about this issue of racial component, and it's a very harsh reality of today's world.
Tying in the idea of white privileges and the idea of body image, for people who do not think it exists, it does. In 2011, a researcher in New York found of the 140,000 teens that were stopped and frisked, 86% were Black or Latino. It's not an idea of will I get stopped, it's how many times will I get stopped for these people.
Russell reminded the audience later that most of the photos in the magazines and these campaign photos are photoshopped images. They have power over young girls and make them feel like their bodies are not up to par with society's standards. But there are hairstylists, makeup artists, photographers that construct these pictures of these models and perceive them to be something that they are not.
Here's the reality of the construction that goes on. Cameron went on to tell us that she was on the beach with that same neon bikini and her spray tan and was on a 30-minute boat ride back to her hotel, and a lady was going on and on who was directly across from her saying how beautiful the model was. Little did she know that she was sitting across from Cameron, that same model, who was wearing sweatpants, a windbreaker, and her hair was in a bun.
This is another prime example of demonstrating construction. The right-hand picture was taken just a few months before this one on the left. And she was 16 in this picture. The moral of these images is that sometimes these are the pictures, this is what we want to be, this is what we aspire to be, but they're unattainable levels of perfection.
Cameron goes on in detail about the young women who aspire to be models, stating, saying you want to be a model when you grow up is akin to saying you want to win the Powerball when you grow up. She emphasizes on the importance of education.
Sadly, research shows that in 2011, 58% of 13-year-old American girls reported feeling unhappy about their bodies. This percentage grows to being 78% by the age of 17. The constructions we call pictures in these magazines are negatively impacting how girls feel about their bodies. They have distorted images of themselves like the photo to your right.
It is very important to be aware of the implications that media holds on body image. Being educated, media consumers to help live happy and healthy lives. Magazines like these promote insecurities, saying that foodophobias are contagious, and putting anorexia and bulimia starvation diets on the front pages of papers.
You are a fat, worthless pig. You're too thin. no man is ever going to want you. Ugly, big, gross. These are the words more than 300 women in a Glamour magazine survey reported saying to themselves daily. Image and our perception of what it represents permeates many people's sense of self-worth.
Most of us have heard the saying, don't judge a book by its cover. We so often judge people by the way they look and not by the way they are, their personality. This is allowing people's appearances or images get the best of us. We are being socially biased.
People have a misconception that they would be much happier if they had thinner thighs, shinier hair, and if they had the latest fashion. Cameron stated the women that are these models and they get all these things and they have this, in reality they are probably the most physically insecure women on the planet.
In the photo on the left of Cameron and on the right of Kate Upton, this illustrates also another example of construction. Photoshop has the ability to make anyone look perfection-free. They look flawless, they have no acne, they have great outfit, hair, and makeup.
These are the same women on the front of those magazines in completely different settings. This shows that they're normal just like the rest of us, they're just not constructed and all glammed up.
Some misconceptions that people say Cameron might have portrayed in her discussion said that she was trying to convey the message that white, tall, slender women personify beauty, but in reality, she's trying to relay the important message of sadly, this is what media portrays. If anything, she's trying to correct the definition or clear up this glamorized thoughts that everyone has.
Although Logan and I do not know a lot about the modeling industry or the modeling world, we both primarily viewed it in a negative light because we think that it promotes body image disturbances. We hope that from this, you take and pass on that you should not gauge your self-worth on public perception of success, and realize that society's standards of beauty do not reflect the beauty that you withhold inside.